Hello, 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 beautiful people, and welcome back to another live experience with me, Leah C. Murphy. I am the CEO of Career Gems for the Journey, and we help talented professionals build thriving careers. So we're back, and I am just deep into the Career and Care Summit. As you all know, we've been talking about it since the beginning of the year, and you've been asking for more teasers, you've been asking for more information. We gave an announcement on some of our speakers already. And now we're going to go through some of the speaker topics that we are so excited about. We're going to go through all of them because we were thoughtful and intentional about each and every one of them. So you're going to be able to walk through what you're going to experience at the Career and Care Summit, and you're going to get a sense of who you're going to hear from, not just the speaker themselves, but the topics that they're going to cover that are really tied into the work that we do here at Career Gems for the Journey. And we're super, super excited for that. So if you're joining me live, I'm really glad that you're here. And if you are on the replay and you are doing that thing, I appreciate that. I love that for you. I love that for us too. Thank you for taking the time to make that happen. Please do share this with someone. I am asking overtly, share this with someone because I know that there is something that someone we care about, someone that we're connected to could benefit from this specific topic. So excited for this discussion. So today we are talking about something that many people in general, but specifically, I'm talking today to women because oftentimes women understand this intuitively, but still struggle to practice it. And it goes to the discussion around choosing yourself first. And sometimes it's even hard to say because we're worried about how people are going to feel when we make those kinds of declarative statements. Choose yourself first. And because we have been conditioned oftentimes not to be as declarative in how that we manage our life, how we manage our time, there is some stigma that goes along with it. Because somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that choosing ourselves was selfish. And the word selfish has a connotation of not being a good person, not being a good community member, not being a team player at work, not being a great partner. And it creates this perception oftentimes, this idea of being selfish really put upon many of us that rest had to be earned. An opportunity to recharge only came after extensive amounts of labor or justifiable amounts of work or effort. It also often put us in a position that saying no required more of an explanation, the why behind it, and let me give you the rationale, rather than no being able to be a full sentence on its own. So that being valuable meant you had to be available all the time is something that I'm really challenging for myself and for the clients that I get to support. And I want to get deeper into that today. So, what I want to say clearly off the top is choosing yourself is an absolutely necessary mode of living, especially as you're navigating your second act of life. It's not selfish to choose yourself, it is strategic and intentional to choose yourself because in the second act of life, we have so many new factors that are critical and very important for us to navigate successfully in order to stay afloat. So, choosing yourself first is how you protect your health, protect your overall well being. It's how you sustain your career. And for many of us, sustaining your career means sustaining your livelihood. So, it takes us to a 30,000-foot view of what's important and how to maintain that. So, how you build your life doesn't require constant recovery if you are doing the work to choose yourself first. Now, don't tussle with me yet. Ride with me for a minute. Let's go more into the topic, and it gives us a chance to be able to have a dialogue. For those of you who are with me live, go ahead and drop your city in the chat and in the comments. I want to know who's with us live, and I want to shout out to my dear, dear, dear friend, Luz Lopez Stewart, who joins us from LaGrange, Georgia, on a consistent basis. Love that for us. Thank you so much, Luz, for always riding with us. It means the world that you're here and that you continue to see value in the experience of being here with us. So let's talk about, most women are often socialized to be the strong one. I'm raising my hand for everybody can't see me on the camera. To be dependable, to be the one who can handle it all, the one who may need to take on more in sacrifice of themselves. We are often praised for being overfunctioning and hyper productive. We're rewarded for pushing through. And sometimes we take that as a badge of honor, that we don't need help, that we can manage everything or we can manage a lot of things for a lot of people. And that has become a part of our identity. And when we're taught to measure our worth by how much we could do or carry for other people, oftentimes it disorients us from the reality of taking good care of ourselves. So, this belief that we have to manage for everyone else and put ourselves last is often what is hidden behind the curtain of overachievement. Now, overachievement is a compliment in a lot of spaces, and I'm not here to change that for you. But as a recovering overachiever myself, this runs really deep for me. When the trend of go and check on your strong friend, when social media was kind of encouraging folks to say like check on the person who always checks on you, who always takes good care of you, who's always thoughtful of your needs, who always makes sure you have everything you need, who you can emotionally, recalibrate with. When it was going around, when that trend was go and check on your strong friend, I was almost certain that someone had read my mind. Someone knew that I was feeling completely overwhelmed and carrying things in my professional life, in my personal life, in my overall well being that I wasn't likely going to be able to reach out to anybody else to share with, except for my mommy. Hi, mommy. I know you're watching. Shout out to you. Always being a rider, always being in my corner. But knowing that I was the strong friend and knowing that I was the strong partner for many people, knowing that I was the mom friend to be able to work with and collaborate with, and the call that many people made a huge difference. It actually made me feel good. But at the same time, it made me feel overwhelmed sometimes and frustrated that I didn't have enough or adequate time for myself. And for a while, that strategy of being something for everyone and accommodating everyone's needs, it works until it doesn't. So there's lots to discuss on the overcorrection that we're also seeing on the 100% soft life. All of your life must be soft. Everything requires no effort, right? I'm not saying that that's really possible or that's a reality either, but it is for good reasons that our timelines are feeding us images and narratives that promote a softer life. I think there's a reckoning and a realization that doing everything for everyone all the time is a recipe for burnout. So there's a lot to unlearn that will really change mindsets that have the potential to be able to change your life. Change your mindset, change your life. And that unlearning is a critical part. And sometimes it's the part that we feel most conflicted with because it requires us to rethink programming or conditioning or training that we've gotten throughout our lives. And now we have to figure out, what do I do with that? Because here's the truth, many of us will eventually discover, and sometimes we'll discover it the hard way, that that job that you gave everything to can still lay you off. That team that you worked double time for can still take other jobs or take other opportunities that better suit them and leave you with nothing to show. That organization that praised your dedication and your loyalty may not protect your health or may not support you when you decide to choose your health by going out on FMLA for any particular personal reason or reasons tied to those of your loved ones. And oftentimes, the people who benefit most from you over giving, over delivering, over showing up are rarely the ones who step in when you are in need. Now, these are some hard truths. And unfortunately, these realizations can often feel really painful, but it can also be clarifying. And that's what I'm hoping that we can achieve by having the conversation and disrupting the stigma and taboo about choosing yourself and making that a conscious way to live. That's why I'm so excited to bring Tara J. Frank to the Career and Care Summit. I am so excited because we are going to introduce her newest released book. And I'm already ordering it online. I've already made myself go out of my way as soon as it was ready to ship to grab my copy. But the book is You Are Before the World: How to Do Good Without Being Undone. And I've personally been following Tara's work for years. And now I just feel really fortunate to be able to bring the work that she does for large organizations and for individuals in person at the Career and Care Summit via a fireside chat that we're going to have about this book, about how she came to write it, and about some of the principles or tenets that are in the book that we know are going to help to change our mindset. So if you follow her on social media, she has worked to drive awareness about the book. She's promoting the work and she's been posting quotes. She's been on podcasts. She's been, ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble again. I hit the mic. She's been on podcasts. She's been all over and she's posted some quotes that really resonate with me. And I want to share just one of them with you all because I want you to go and follow her. Tara J. Frank. You'll be able to find her on LinkedIn. She's on Instagram. She's on all the platforms. One of the quotes that really resonated with me as I was, reading through all the materials and all of the pre-planning that she's sharing as the book launches and begins to ship is when we say you are before the world, we mean that you honor yourself. We mean take deep breaths. We mean we were created to love and to be loved. We mean that you are a human being, not just a human doing. And the human being, not just a human doing, almost took me out because I think there was something there that I personally needed to grapple with, something that I needed to make more sense of, and something that I needed to focus on when I'm thinking about how I choose myself and how I continue to put that as a priority in the way that I build my life. So when you consistently choose everyone else first, there is a cost. And that's the part that often we don't talk about. There's a cost to not making the right balance of choice for yourself. And that cost shows up for many of us in a ton of different ways. And sometimes we're not always able to track it back to the root cause, which is why we're here, because we're here to learn and to grow. So sometimes that cost looks like chronic exhaustion, anxiety that never quite shuts off, health scares that force you to slow down. And those health scares can be in any range. They can be migraines, they can be stress, they can be allergic reactions, they can be joint pain, they can be lots of different ways that stress manifests in our bodies that causes health scares. It can also look like resentment towards the people that you actually love and care about, but you're so out of balance that their needs become a pain point for you. So sometimes there is this quiet sense that your life is happening to you and you're not at the helm. You're not at the steering wheel. You don't have the remote control. That it's happening to you, not happening with your permission. And here's the part that we don't say out loud. You guys know that I like to disrupt taboos here because that's what this platform is for. Many women don't burn out because they don't care enough or because they don't understand what needs to be done. They burn out often because they care too much, but they don't have healthy boundaries or systems in place for them to make sure that they choose themselves and take good care of themselves. Burnout is not a personal failure. I'm going to say that again. Burnout is not a personal failure. It's often the result of sustained lack of care for your well being. And that really does hit hard for me. I'm raising my own hand. So when I started to think about this topic and bringing it to life for the Career and Care Summit and who was the right person, Tara J. Frank was exactly what I had in mind for someone to be able to bring the right context, the right tools, and just the right broad understanding so that we can change our minds and change our lives. At some point, many of us reach a crossroad and we realize that success, as it's been defined for us, is no longer sustainable in the way that we used to do it. And maybe this is our opportunity right now in 2026 for us to begin a new definition of success, for us to start to control the version and the definition of success as we see it for ourselves in the second act of life. So success starts to mean waking up without feeling dread for the job that we have to go to, having energy at the end of the day, looking forward to time well spent with loved ones or doing work that we find engaging and tied to purpose, feeling at home in our own bodies, and being fully present for the life that we are building intentionally for ourselves. Success becomes less about topics and more about alignment. And choosing yourself doesn't mean you are blowing up your life. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are even quitting your job. It doesn't mean that you are abandoning all the things that are your responsibilities or all the things that you feel obligated to. It means that we have an opportunity to pause and take the time to ask better questions so that we have the opportunity to redefine success on our own terms. We ask better questions so that we can redefine success, and it allows us to build the life that we want with better intention. So it could look like, as we're thinking about choosing ourselves, it can look like, am I carrying something that is requiring more of me than I have? Am I doing more things out of guilt and obligation? Or am I navigating what is often something that is highly frictional, but I don't have the words or I don't have the tools to be able to address those things? That's really why the Career and Care Summit began. That's how we came to the conclusion that it was time to build something that met the needs of professional women who are navigating their second act of life. And I am thrilled to be able to bring you what I believe are tools, resources, and talks and group sessions that I know are going to transform your mindset around the way you manage choosing yourself. And I also want to make sure that we are doing that in community, in person. So I want you to join us on March 21st, 2026. We will be in person at the Community College of Philadelphia, directly in the room with all of these other like minded women who are navigating the changes and the recalibrations that you are navigating. In celebration of Women's History Month, in celebration of Philadelphia's 250th, we are really bringing to the forefront not only the contributions that women have made, but also the tools and support systems that women will need to continue to make the contributions to our families, our communities, to our workplaces, to society, to our world. So I'm so excited to have you join us in person on March 21st, 2026. Grab your tickets today. You can grab it via the QR code that you see on the screen. You can also head over to our website at gemsforthejourney.org to be able to grab your tickets today. We are already moving tickets, and I'm thrilled and exciting. There's so many returning gems who are coming back to be with us at the Career and Care Summit for the second time. And there's so many folks who are new to this community who are looking for exactly what we're bringing to the table. And the tickets sales are showing that. So I'm excited. I believe that we're going to sell out. I'm putting it out there that those tickets are going to sell out. So I want you to go and take advantage of the opportunity to grab them now. They're available at gemsforthejourney.org. And until then, until we are back together next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here live, I really hope that you make the opportunity yours and take today to make your journey work for you. As you are planning for what it looks like to choose yourself, take today to make your journey work for you. Until then, it's been real. I appreciate all you for riding with us. See you next time.